the Naga Siren, and the Naga Siren falls in the second ban phase. The Brewmaster Nature's Prophet opening out of Cloud9 is similar to what Newbee ran very often in the international tournament. I would say even in the grand finals, I think they used the opening specifically twice, if not at least the same combo. And usually this lets like a Morphling or an Enigma pick up follow-up. But Newbie, their lineup is nothing to scoff at. I mean, the Death Prophet, the Skywrath Mage, top two picks of the season at the moment. Then Tidehunter, a very potent hero as well, who kind of fell off because people thought it wasn't as good, but still very, very strong as a hero.
Yeah, and Death Prophet in particular, that 20-second nerf to the ultimate, some thought it would just make it too long of a cooldown, but it really hasn't. It feels like she's pretty much the same old Death Prophet, and, well, I did cast a couple games yesterday where she was mysteriously ignored. It was in Cloud9 Vici, and two of the games she was ignored, but not this time around. Newbie's more of like your traditional Chinese team, and they are going to run it here.
Yeah. It's hard to pass up Panda, Razor, Death Prophet, and Centaur in the current metagame. And even Batrider, who's made himself the first ban hero against, I mean, on the side of Cloud9, which is kind of odd. But I think that basis comes from the fact that they don't like playing Furion into Batrider, because Batrider is just so amazing against Prophet. You know, Prophet's the hero that, as much farm as he gets, you know, he wants to show himself in the lane to get those lane creeps. And Batrider can not only farm the jungle and the lane, but he can do it without the showing of his presence under the guise of a smoke or something like that, and he can always apply that kind of kill pressure. So them taking that out in the first stage, and here now we have the Razor as the fourth pickup. Again, no real surprises to see this hero coming out.
Yeah, this one got hit a bit harder in the last patch. I think the main one that a lot of people are really looking at is the losing your ultimate if you do die. So you no longer revive the storm through Aegis, and that is a pretty big change, but on paper. But in practice, yeah. Razor just seems like he doesn't die anyway, so what does it really matter?
You know, it's ironic to say, but I would say Razor took like a less hit than a Death Prophet.
Really?
You know, yeah. The thing is, I thought coming to the patch that the ultimate change to Death Prophet is not going to be a big deal either, and especially with the refresher getting the additional 20 seconds on it, I guess it kind of adds on some more fuel to the fire. But in essence, this 20-second ultimate, when it comes to like the late game, if Death Prophet doesn't rush a refresher orb as like a fourth slot item, then what happens is, in some sort of base defense scenario, after you just push down a mid-rax or a tower, you actually don't have Exorcism up. And it makes for very interesting buyback fights. So, and you know, buyback fights are obviously very important when it comes to a Spectre hero as well. So it could be a possibility that this 20-second nerf could come into play here.
Yeah, and well, when we're talking about late game, can't forget this one. Spectre picked up fourth. In 6.82, it was probably a first pick. In 6.82b, definitely still a strong hero, and with this, Newbie can certainly take it late. It also goes great against Blink Dagger Initiators, and we've got two of them, Brewmaster and Sand King. So, Claire, this is a hero that could cause a lot of problems for Cloud9 when they're trying to take team fights.
Yeah, although I do favor the Razor in the overall engagement, because this Razor hero, when you get to the late game, like how Spectre carries a game is somewhat similar to a Naga. You first of all, you pick the fights you want, and secondly, you fight with an advantage always because you have these illusions that are hitting the enemy heroes. In terms of single target focus, they're not the strongest. And what happens with the Razor with Aghanim's and Refresher is that the Haunt illusions actually die so fast, and at the same time, the Spectre that realities into the Razor just melts also because he gets armor shredded, and even though he's reflecting some of the damage, it's just not enough to deal with a 4 or 5 slot Razor.
Right.
So yeah, it's hard to say at the moment, but I would favor Cloud9's lineup so far.
Okay, well, Newbie, still needing that second support here as we go into the last set of picks. They ban out the AUI 2000 Enigma, which has been fantastic for a long time and would certainly give them teamfight supremacy if they get the black hole off. So Cloud9, we'll see if they want to go a different direction. We did see the return of the jungle heroes in that Alliance Cloud9 match. I didn't actually get to watch it because I ended up crashing after a 10-hour cast, but I heard there was some Chen Enchantress action, and well, there is still a Chen out there if Cloud9 want to go for it, but generally we've seen the Enchantresses more popular, even with that new Chen eggs.
Yeah, you know, it's somewhat of a side note, but I remember speaking to Burning at TI3, just after they lost their game against Alliance in the winner's bracket. I approached him and I said, what went wrong? He said, Spectre and Chen are not very good together. So in the case that Chen wants to come out, it probably shouldn't be on the side of Newbie, or if the Chinese think alike, then that's probably the case.
Yeah.
But Shadow Demon is picked up by Cloud9, and all of a sudden, this hero, in conjunction with Nature's Prophet and Sand King, is just a really good overall walk around the map support hero.
It's also really good against Spectre.
Yeah, it's pretty decent against Spectre, and I guess the main thing is that the any target that gets initiated on, like if the Skywrath tries to burst them down with the Mystic Flare and Ancient Seal, you can just put them under, and they would mitigate the damage.
Yeah, so Newbie, bit light on stuns, Claire. I think that's kind of my main concern here. Like, do they need an Earthshaker type hero? They currently have Ravage. That's it.
ES would be good.
Okay.
I personally don't like Tidehunter and Earthshaker together, but ES is like one of the best heroes right now for their lineup to work with the Skywrath. Newbie have also ran the Lich with the Spectre, and it was actually a TI4 against EG, so they could very well look into that option. But again, that kind of thing is very lane committed, and Cloud9 is one of those teams that even though they don't do too hot in the laning stages, always have like a trump when it comes to the mid game because they like to split push. And yeah, you know what? They actually took the Lich.
Oh, good
This is a
call.
lock-in pick. Every time I see this situation with Newbie, it either succeeds super hard or falls flat on its face, and I guess we'll have to see another demonstration of that here today.
Yeah, most commonly we've seen it with the Morphling, but, well,
Yeah,
is a bit stronger, I guess, in some ways. Oh no, don't give me connection problems. It's a bit stronger in this patch with the Frost Armor working fully against range heroes, not half. At the same time, a lot of Razor's damage is, in fact, most of it is going to be his ultimate when he gets, especially when he
yeah,
gets Refresher. And Prophet, yeah, there's decent right click there, but the Frost Armor won't be amazingly effective. There's nothing, I guess there's nothing really important to cancel with there's no like Black Hole to cancel with a Chain Frost. So I think, just to echo your point, like going through what else Lich can offer, there's really not much except lane dominance.
exactly. It's such a lock-in pick for the current metagame, and as we've seen it with the Lich Morphlings, it does work given the right scenario. But I do question if this is the right scenario that Newbie have set up for themselves. You know, they have the Death Prophet and they have the Tidehunter, so their team fight is stellar. Uh, Everything gets enhanced in that respect with the Spectre pickup. But again, Cloud9, you know, if they can survive the laning phase here.
Are the players moving for you? Because I think I'm lagging. Are you in the game? Claire. Guys? Well, because all the computers try to download it. Alright, I'm still dropping all my frames. Alright, I think we're back. Alright, hello everybody. Do apologize for just a little internet hiccup, it looks like. So hopefully we didn't miss anything. Let's get Clairvoyance back on the line real quickly. Oh boy. WCA is not only... It's just bad luck, man. It's just bad luck. Alright. Okay, Claire, you with me? He's not picking up yet. And I'm not sure if I'm actually going to reconnect. We have to restart Dota 2. I think you guys are out there. I think you can hear me. I'm not sure, though. Hello. I'm trying to reload into the game, guys. I thought it was Perfect World, but it seems it was actually our internet having a hiccup. So we seem to be back for now. But I'm not in the server. Alright. I think Dota just crashed. Yep. That's a Dota crash. Let's try this again. World-class action indeed. That is the perfect WCA acronym. Oh my. Thank you for your patience, guys. We really do apologize for these outages. This one's on us or on Verizon anyway, but yeah, let's try this reconnect one more time. Yeah, I would be talking about the game, but well, I don't even remember what the draft was, to be honest. Okay, let's see. So Spectre, Death Prophet. All right, we're back in. We're back in. We did not miss a first blood. Thank God for that. We have game audio. Hopefully we'll get Clairvoyance back in a second. And let's see. Anyone about to die? All right. Just Sanchez actually being pursued out with 3 poison stacks. Pilot, I'm really committing for this. This could end up being your first blood. There's a slowdown for the concussive shot. There's no Lich nukes. He has boots first. I don't think they get this kill. Still pursuing Pilot die out and looking for the opening. All right. Pilot die. Not going to find a haster. So he gets his get out of jail free card. Another nuke coming in. But at the buzzer, he'll end up escaping. All right. Clairvoyance, you with me? No, he's not with me. Okay, let's run through the lineups real quickly and introduce our players here. So on the Radiant side, we have Hao as the off-lane Spectre currently. I think they're trying to dodge some lane matchups here. Moot will be playing your Death Prophet mid. That puts Banana onto the Lich, who was forced to TP down just to save Sangshine's life. Sangshin hitting that Scarlet Mage. In the bottom lane, we'll go Rabbit as your Tide Hunter, the new addition to this newbie squad. Filling some big shoes as far as Director 8s go, but doing his best. Bone 7 will be your off-lane Nature's Prophet. Looks like he's going to be going for those early null tallies in the Blade Mail build. That puts Fada on the mid lane Brewmaster. Back to the well will be Pylai Die on the Shadow Demon. And then top lane, Eternal Envy, playing that Razor. He's stealing a lot of damage here. He's basically 1v2ing these heroes and winning. And that does leave AUI 2000 as your Sand King. Hey.
Just a question.
Yes.
So when you DC and then I'm here and I'm talking and you're talking through your stream, does that mean like both our voices kind of go through Dota TV?
Yes, people in Dota TV are probably listening to 2 separate people. Like, hey, you there? Hey, you there?
Over you the whole time for a minute or 2.
yeah, that's pretty much what just happened. We apologize.
On, that's not on me, dude. That's on internet. Please.
No,
internet,
that's on you, Claire. Come on, you pick up the
that's
phone.
On China.
Pick up the damn phone. No, we do really apologize to everyone in Dota TV. Although, to be honest, from what I've heard, it's pretty bad in general anyway, and the dreaded pause begins.
I do wonder. Every time I checked out these WCA games on Dota TV, it sounded like your mic was on a robot thing, you know?
That seems to be happening a lot with the Chinese servers.
Okay.
I think it's a routing issue with Perfect World.
Perfect World, not so perfect, LD.
Last I talked to Valve, which granted was about it, which was like, I mean, I initially brought it up to them like I think it was almost 2 years ago when we started casting G1 League and end of 2012. Heading into 2013. Yeah, this was like when no Western broadcast just never streamed Chinese tournaments. I think Falat did a handful of times, but that was like an audio cast and way back in the day. So generally they weren't streamed live, but this was one of the first few, and well, the routing was even worse then, and it's gotten slightly better. But end of the day, it's from what I understand, Valve would basically have to get their own line into China that like bypasses all the normal exchanges, of the networks and.
Oh, good luck.
Yeah, and as you can imagine, in China, there's some politics involved there. It's not just like, oh, we just need to run a cable. It's you got to bribe off people all up and down the chain, from what I understand.
Yeah.
Not saying they would actually do that, but it's complicated, man. It's complicated.
The Great Wall of China, dude. The Great Firewall of China.
There's more than one Great Wall. All right, Claire. So we've missed like the first few minutes. Didn't miss a first blood, although. Pylai Die was going ham and almost got a solo first blood of the enemy Skywrath of all heroes. But how are these lanes looking for you so far?
I think they're going somewhat even, I would have to say. I think Bone 7 could have got a little bit more CS, considering all things. But now what's going to happen is he won't be able to do any damage to the Tidehunter. At the same time, though, there is a double wave of 6 creeps pushing in. So let's see if he can pick up 2 or 3 here.
Yeah, so I guess we'll see the early null tally stacking up quite soon. Mood getting caught out will be clapped. There is no disruption though. Pilot only level 1, but he's stacking up the poison. Bottle charge is going through. They'll need one more poison here. Is it going to be enough? It's close.
Oh,
not
so
quite.
close.
30 HP, but now the turn might come. Pilot Die in trouble. Nukes come in for the Scarlet Mage. No concussive shot. They'll need 2 more nukes. Gets clapped. This could be Fada getting the first blood. It will be. As Bone 7 rotates in, but Fada with the big crits to secure that.
Yeah. Probably that, doing what he does best, walking around the map and creating space.
Yeah, and it's just a level 1 boot Shadow Demon that's setting up those kills too. There's no Soul Catcher, there's no disruption, just the Shadow Poison. But gets 3-4 stacks, and the nice thing is it prevents you from bottling too much in these early ganks. Like if you try to use those charges, you take another poison stack and it just gets cancelled constantly. So might have led to the kill there. We're just gonna see AUI trying to jungle though. And it seems Newbee don't want to allow this. Going in for the last hits. Even nuking the creeps to try and secure them. But he's proving to be a nuisance here on this support Sand King. And he has started stacking his jungle as well.
Which is good. Again, the reason why this combo with the Shadow Demon is so good with the Sand King is that heroes like Skywrath and Shadow Demon, they can just leave the lane. And that's probably after they've either done the zoning work that they had to do as supports or just apply kill pressure elsewhere. And then the Sand King just gets free reign over the jungle or can follow suit with his Burrow Strike. And Skywrath and Shadow Demon have decent initiation. Shadow Demon much superior.
Oh man, that Ravage bottom lane. They're going to give Hal the last hit as well. Rabbit uses the first one.
Wow, already.
Yeah, he had no hesitation about using that on Bone 7, and it seems they kind of wanted to combo it with a potential lane swap. They're going to send the Tidehunter into the woods and give the Spectre this lane, and they'll just leave Banana top to... Oh, Burst Split was used, and they're diving in mid lane. Disruptions here. Shadow Poison can stack up Moo, perfectly surrounded by the Disruption Illusions. His own creeps working against him as well. Oh, that hurts. He'll end up going down, and do they get any sort of trade? Bone 7 and Noob Banana will cross paths, but it's really about Fada, who just TP's out, and Bone 7 just struts away. Double no tallies online, boys.
Yeah, the second one and third to probably come sometime soon. But it will be the infamous Blade Mail build.
Yeah, he loves this build. I don't think I've seen him go anything else since he started doing it.
That's the thing. I spoke to him about it a little bit, and he agrees that it's not an every game thing, but he actually just makes it every game. So yeah, I don't know. Like, I'm not sure what he's thinking.
It's just his comfort food of a build, you know. It's like, I just feel safe with the no tallies. It's like that, the blankie that some kids have when they're growing up, and you know they can't go to sleep without their blankie. The no tallies have become Bone 7's blankie in Dota 2.
Yeah, after so much troubles with the U.S., you know, you want to be comfortable in China at least.
I don't know if there's any comfort to be had with this tournament. The hotel did look really nice. I saw some pictures of it from the former Titan manager, Oling, but I don't know if that makes up for the 14-hour days that Cloud9 have had.
The boys when they come back from the LAN. So how was the LAN? Oh, the hotels were nice.
Oh boy. Alright, so what are we looking at here? Free farm on Eternal Envy being traded for free farm on a Death Prophet mid. Your Brew's doing pretty well. Safe laner of the Tide got off the early level 6. Now Rapid's in the off lane. Fairly even trades across the board so far. Cloud9 up 1,000 gold and 750 experience, and a lot of this is probably going to come down to just AUI being able to farm the stacks later on, as they already have a double stack here. We see Bone 7 on a secondary stack, although it involves Mud Golems over here. So a nice lead for Cloud9 early on, but they are running this Spectre, and that's not going to make your lanes any easier.
Probably still sapping EXP at the bottom lane, and it could very well happen that he gets initiated on, as Hao is level 6 and there are no supports in sight, but I'm not sure if Cloud9 are aware. On the other hand, Eternal Envy has rotated to the bottom lane. Looks like they want to
Fada, the trap is sprung. Moose just bait. Panda Split was used. He tries to TP out. Will they be able to stop this TP in time? It looks like they did. I didn't get an animation for anything, but Moose still retreating. Juking through the trees. They're going to gush the Fire Panda to try to keep him safe. Fire Panda will fall. Earth Panda retreating out. Banana in pursuit of that one. And Hao will commit, but there's a boulder toss. Oh, he almost got baited under the tower with the boulder toss, but in the end, it's a Brew Split, a Ravage, and only a Prophet barely dying, but it was a 4-hero commitment from Newbee for that. And meanwhile, Cloud9 tried to set up bottom lane, but the Spectre just haunted it, dodged it. How? No, he's baiting with his magic stick. He'll be fine.
Makes me really question that movement coming out of Eternal Envy to the bottom lane, though. I mean, for one, I don't think they could have landed a kill on Spectre anyway. But for another, the fact that he TP'd bottom means that Newbee could have that kind of fight at mid lane with no real scare. Because Razor coming into that fight with a huge plasma field might have changed things. As I say that though, this is a level 8 Razor with not a single point in plasma field.
Huh. What do you make of that?
It's one of those Cloud9 things because they theory craft a lot with the optimal item builds and the most efficiency on some games. And you look at this game and you say, okay, there's a Skywrath, there's a Lich, there's a Tide. All those heroes who have this nuke potential and slow/catch that comes out of their gank abilities are all single target. So why don't you just purge them up and then you just run away?
Oh, but, AUI.
I mean, this is heavy commitment though.
He's got to be careful. They're going to go on him. Oh my goodness, he melts. Actually didn't level up Desolate. Maybe not enough. Oh, just barely. Only has the level 1 Desolate. Bit unusual to be honest.
He does a lot of damage with that base boots, I must say.
So there is a lot of single target nukage here, I guess, from Newbee, and that does make the Razor's passive very powerful.
Although I would imagine, I mean, you go with this Ring of Aquila pickup and suddenly, unless you're casting your nuke, I'm not really sure about the purpose of finishing the item. I mean, it is slot efficient to finish it because it's so good for the price. But yeah, I don't know. I think you should get some points in nuke for sure.
Sidechain forced to TP out by a potential Prophet teleport, but it was actually cancelled, so this will allow Pilot to secure your illusion root top, and meanwhile, makes the move towards Hal. Does not have the Demonic Purge, so will be a fairly difficult kill here on the Spectre. No Epicenter online either. AOI just focusing on his early economy with the 3 points in Sandstorm, the leveled up Burrow Strike, and wants to rush that Blink Dagger, so doesn't really have the mana pool to support early Epicenter usage. And Eternal Envy, I mean, true to form, Claire, he likes to roam early more than almost any other one-position player.
Yeah, he does. He likes to give space to his team, but a lot of times it hurts him, and I think this is one of those cases. I mean, he probably wouldn't have had too much more farm anywhere he went, but the fact that he's walking around open in daylight, it's making the enemy feel a lot more comfortable, and it just, I don't know, it kind of just gave away cards. So Eternal Envy not having the nuke, it hinders his ability to clear the creep wave and really maintain presence in the lane, so long as some of these single target heroes are missing, even with the high levels in unstable current.
Yeah, one of the things we have seen a lot from Razors and Death Prophets is just farming stacks in the jungle with that leveled up nuke.
Yeah.
You stack the big
It's
camp
so
a few
good.
times, you can clear that in, like, I don't know, 2-3 plasma fields, depending on how much right-click damage you have.
Yeah.
So we'll slow down his farm a bit, but it is giving a lot of levels to AUI 2000. He's already hit 7 in the top lane at 11.5 minutes. You compare that to the other supports in this game, they're all 5. And that's including a Lich, who is very under-leveled, to be honest. 11.5, you almost just get level 6 from Denies, but somehow he hasn't found it yet. Well, just got it now.
Yep. He has picked it up. Of course, no levels in ice armor yet, but eventually we will see the impact of it, especially against a hero like Razor, who doesn't want to be slowed up in the fights. Again, though, not too sure how impactful it'll be. And in the meantime, Pilot at top lane.
Oh, you are so dead, Pilot. It goes down.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, at the top rune, just a deny on this bounty rune for Moo, and that will prompt Fada to blink away back towards mid. He's already got his blink, though. Very early blink for him. The Sand King of AUI getting close to his own.
Yeah, looks like they want to kill the Lich at bottom, or at least pressure the tower. They'll have to commit something. Fada's probably going to finish his treads at the side shop here, and there it is. He's going to be able to clap out the next wave, and Eternal Envy still has no points in the nuke, but about to crack level 9, so we'll see if he wants to get his first point or just go with a max up build on the unstable current. In the meantime, mid lane, Exorcism has been casted.
Nice move here by Banana. Just knowing that when they show 3 heroes like this, either Cloud9 are going to come fight mid, in which case his Chain Frost will be needed, or they're going to be ganking him bottom. And well, either way, he rotates off of it. But Fada will return to the lane. Tower nearly dead, not finished off yet. They do have Haunt online. Drum's about to be picked up by Hal. Not the best farm, but considering all the rotations, not too bad. Bruce split used very early. Moo being pursued a bit here. Razor can join the fray as well. Even an epicenter from AUI, but the Ravage prevents further chase. Moo's gonna turn with this nuke. He may end up going down to the boulder toss. The additional auto attack damage. They need an anchor smash here to keep him safe. Moo will be fine. An overcommitment. AUI 2000 ends up going down. Revealed his Blink Dagger in that process as well, and it cost them a Bruce split to boot in exchange for the Ravage. Now Fada trying to TP out.
Oh, it's gonna get cancelled, I think.
They have a Chain Frost. Oh no. It's a secondary death, and it's on a very highly leveled hero in the Brew, and suddenly 3 heroes in Newbee are level 9 on the back of that fight.
Yeah, that was a really critical turnaround. I think the nice thing about that commitment is that Cloud9 did manage to save the mid tower, but it's just one of those situations you say at what cost. Eternal Envy still scraping up every little bit he can find, and he has picked up the drums on his Razor now. Probably gonna move out from a courier soon, or as they say, that looks like he wants to heal up to 300 life points that he's missing at the fountain. But in terms of objectives, Cloud9, when you lose that kind of fight against a Spectre, you feel really pressured and you start panicking to try and do something. So I wonder if they're going to fall into that void, into that bait, and put themselves in a worse situation, or if they're going to just settle down, relax, and say, hey, let's wait for the Brewmaster ulti to come again, and we'll try with the Razor next time.
Yeah, they'll have their blade mount soon on the Nature's Prophet, which can just completely melt Sidechain if he's not careful, and well, to go with that, Eternal Envy picks up drums. They've got the double blinks online. So basically, everyone's got their items for this stage of the game. Nobody's trying to go greedy. No Midas is picked up. Nobody really too focused on farming. They'll get their farm, but they are ready to fight now as soon as the ults cool down. So, whereas you look at Newbee, your Spectre is building that way as well with phase boots and drums, but obviously a hero that wants to come online more. Moose still isn't completed. his Yule Scepter at 15 minutes, and outside of that, they do have the Blink on Tide. Those are pretty much the main pickups so far.
Yeah, a post level 6 death on Death Prophet really hurts Yule's progression. But the tower is getting forced out here.
I don't know, they can't really defend this. No Brew Split for 15,
No,
they're just
no
going to have to sack the tier 1. And I don't think they get this trade. Well, there's nothing to trade for. Well, they're setting up top lane looking for go. Dagger will come through AUI. In position with an Epicenter ready, but Hal is very nervous about this gank, and you can just see how far back he's sitting. Still, it's nighttime. They have an Observer Ward over here, but I'm not sure if he saw these heroes walk up into the lane. I don't think so. He's in the danger zone. Purge to start. Disruption to follow. The Soul Catcher can follow this up, and it's an Epi. The Burrow Strike through, and no chance for Hal. Great shade stun. Now Cloud9 on the retreat out. Concussive shot slowing down the Shadow Demon. They're going to work on Pylai die. Mystic Flare used as well. One more nuke would do him in. Nothing AUI can do but watch his buddy die. And they tried to smoke to save him. Well, didn't end up working out. But
I think they're just going to reinitiate. Yeah, there it is.
Alright. Not too shabby. Meanwhile, bottom lane.
Yeah,
No, nothing more there. Rabbit just getting harassed a bit by Eternal Envy.
Ooh, I think they might want to commit. No, Eternal Envy pops the jumps, realizes the sense of urgency.
Oh man, they have Ravage. He doesn't really have that much static link damage either, so they can dive this Razor if they want to. Jump charge use, AUI rotating in now. He has a Burrow Strike just getting the mana for it there, and they pop a Dust as well, but no Mystic Flare to follow this up, so it's a Ravage and a Haunt for absolutely nothing from Newbee. They get zilched there.
Yeah, really nice move by AUI there, TPing in, and even with just a small stun, it gives enough presence to give Newbee the awareness saying that if we commit deeper, we might actually lose heroes. And of course, Hal was already taking some damage from Eye of the Storm, which means his armor was getting shredded. Not a place you want to be with Spectre after haunting to commit for a kill. And just pay attention to the build too, LD. Like this Spectre build, it's not the same as the ones that the Western scene does. The Western scene always goes to 2 Spectral Dagger max.
Oh, the skill build you're saying. Okay.
Yeah, that's right. And then they max Desolate first, and then they have like 1 to 2 points in Dispersion, and then you can either rotate between Dagger or Dispersion. But Desolate seems to be the priority because it synergizes best with Haunt, and you can make the most use of it by realitying into the different illusions through Haunt.
Yeah, he's actually only gone for 2 points of Desolate, and does level up Dispersion, which it used to be the go-to build, but Desolate got buffed pretty hard, I don't know, a year ago or something, and ever since then, it's mainly been Desolate, sometimes Dagger, but yeah, rarely do we see the Dispersion leveled up over that. But they're gonna go in now top lane onto Hal. He has picked up a Vitality Booster, he's very tanky. They'll use a Brew Split for this. He jukes through the trees, Burrow Strike there to greet him. It's a pretty big commitment here, and they'll get that Spectre kill. But reinforcements are arriving. Moo into the front lines. He's got a Yule Scepter ready to go, and he's invis. Who's he going to go on? I think he's waiting for this Brew. No, throws out the nuke. Boulder Toss can come through and prevent that follow-up. They've got to prevent Bone 7's TP out. They'll silence him. Mystic Flare secures the kill. But the Appy from AUI, he was ready to counter-initiate. Newbee take the bait. Hook line and Taker. Now they're just going to TP out. AUI can't cancel that one fast enough. Even the Courier nearly going down. Now it's got to hide in the tree line. Up to the cliffs. Run, Gentle Courier. Can't even see it, it's so far off the map, and Fada's still trying to hunt it down. And this will free them up to fight mid. They basically took a 3v5 and won while they're pushing the middle lane.
Yeah, and honestly, I think Newbee are gonna continue to find themselves getting juggled around. Moo coming in mid, and Haunt does get casted. Here we go.
Going on to Pylai. Nice silence to prevent any sort of defensive disruption, and they'll at least get one return kill here. So finally the Spectre getting something with a Haunt, but he's 3-2-6, but it really doesn't feel like he's had that much impact, and, well, his farm has certainly been shut down. Only 60 CS at 19 minutes in. Cloud9 knowing Haunt is down, are going to try and sneak a Roshan here, but it will not be very fast.
Yeah, I'm not sure, I'm not sure if they even want to commit to this, honestly.
They're going to push mid instead. Exorcism's here for the tier 2, and...
Yeah, they should back out of this for sure. It's going to take way too long.
Yeah, Eternal Envy's thought better of it. But he's only got a level 2 Plasma Field for the team fight. He's just going to pop the ult, start charging in, and they'll focus on Moo with the Exorcism online. He gets thrown up in the air right as the counter-initiating Ravage comes in, but Moo still ends up dropping. Chain Frost needs to hit Fada one more time. He gets put under by Pylai, keeping him alive, while Rabbit and Banana retreat up the hill. They've already lost 2. Meanwhile, AOI 2000 Fada scurrying to dodge away from that Chain Frost bounce, and well, they'll end up surviving with no Spectre Haunt. This is not really a fight they can look to take, and now if they want to go Roche, well... A lot of ults were just used, so it could be a potential opportunity.
Actually, despite the initiation coming out of Cloud9, Newbee had an opportunity to turn the fight there. And I think it was on Sansheng's hands. What happened was Sansheng casted one of the spells on, I believe, Razor, and he got slowed up a bit. But he didn't follow up with the Mystic Flare on the Ravaged Razor. And Razor was sitting at like sub 400 life points, just like 390 or something. So Razor would have actually gotten bursted down while Mu was up in the air with his Yule Scepter. And when Mu came down, without the Razor's initial damage or instant damage, the Magic Wand would have come out as well, and he might have been able to walk out with his extra movement speed. It's kind of doubtful, but the Razor kill was huge there, and the fact that Sansheng didn't get his Mystic Flare off is quite costly at this point.
Yeah, Newbee are a very ultimate reliant team. Like, your only hero that can reliably take fights without his ult is probably the Scarth Mage. He still offers quite a bit. It's still an important ult, but hey, 1 minute cooldown's not too shabby. But you look at everyone else, Claire, and these are big cooldown ultimates. Spectre ult, 2 minutes at all levels. The Death Prophet, 135 seconds. Your Tidehunter, around 2 minutes as well. 150, so 2.5 to be exact. And of course, Chain Frost, it's 1 minute when you get the level 3 ult, but for now it's over a 2 minute ult as well. If they waste their ults, they really can't do anything to Cloud9.
No, they really can't. As a matter of fact, the fact that Hao had to commit to an early Vitality booster, as efficient and nice it is for Spectre to get this early HP, for Spectre to work in these kind of games, she has to snowball really hard. Again, you don't really want to go into a late game Razor with a Spectre. It just doesn't work. So it's unfortunate, but they will have to get something done yet again. And Haunt is available, so I'm not sure if they even want to wait out the Ravage, but they can very well do so, as it's only about 20 seconds left. And Rabbit is on his way to a mech, so I think their team fight's going to be enhanced in the next engagement.
Yeah, the mech seems pretty big. He's only, what, 500 gold off, so he'll have the mech soon. Spectre about halfway to the Relic, a little bit more. If they take a good fight with the mech Ravage Haunt combo, then we're potentially looking at how just having this Relic. It's not the fastest, but it's not a pure one-position Spectre. You've got Mu to assist on the Death Prophet, and if he can manage to pick up his farm, he's actually done really well so far, 8k net worth, and he could be very relevant later on. He's got an Ogre Club Study on the courier. That's where the extra gold is.
Yeah. I was wondering that too. I mean, he's actually got the highest CS in the game, but his inventory does not show for it at all.
Yeah, he's got some gold in his stash, 1,300 to be exact, and yeah, with the Ogre Club, BKB is coming soon. And against Cloud9, the only hero who has many answers for this is just your Razor.
More than enough, though, I would say. He has a play mill, and I'm not sure if he wants to commit to a Shiva so early, but he could very well do so. I mean, he does have a significant level advantage against the enemy team right now, and he has the Aegis to fall back on. So if you just apply an AoE slow, we've seen AUI come in with this huge epicenter, just taking over the team fights and doing all the burst damage necessary after the Portal Strike follow-up. So it could very well just be relying on some of his supports to dish out that extra damage. And of course, Bone 7 with the Blade Mail. Can't forget that build, LD.
He's had it for some time, and yeah. What's this? Is this just a Force Staff he's working on? A Necro Book? What are you expecting from Bone?
I would imagine a Necro Book. I actually don't know. Okay. I've never seen him build Force Staff with this build before.
When you see all those null tallies, your mind always goes to Dagon, but I'm not expecting it this game.
Oh yeah, yeah. See the null talisman above, the Staff of Wizardry below.
He's just taunting us. Like, come on, man. Where's that Dagon rush?
Yeah. Oh man, they killed Tinker so hard this patch. Oh, I wish it was played some more.
Did you see the game where IG tried to run it?
What happened?
They hadn't read the patch notes, because in iLeague, the patch dropped like in the middle of the LAN finals. Like, one day it's 6.81, next day it's 6.82. And they started stacking Ancients when the game began. They stacked them once.
Oh, that must look silly.
And then I'm pretty sure someone on the team was like, you realize that doesn't work anymore, right? And then they stopped stacking them. That was pretty funny.
Man. Yeah, he does rush the Shivas. So he's at 1.4k life points with his power treads swapped onto strength.
He's really,
which is fair enough.
He's really the only Razor player I see rush a Shivas. Like, it's almost always either BKB or occasionally your Aghanim Scepter.
Yeah, it'll work this game though. I mean, given the position that he's in, again, he's one of the highest levels in the game, and he has the Aegis to fall back on. So even if he makes a mistake and overextends slightly, all he does is just slow up everybody and offer that presence as the Razor should be doing.
Yeah, Banana has picked up an early headdress. He's had it for a while, and I guess we'll see him work towards a pipe for this team if the game goes on. And for now, some casual regen for himself. Still, it's all about how he's been unable to offer too much in the real engagements, and he'll need this Relic of Radiance to remain relevant. He's getting close to the Relic, but they're forced to park 3 heroes just to sit near him while Mu has to take the risk and head out to the bottom lane with no support whatsoever. You can just see the wards
Yeah.
that Cloud9 have gotten out. They have this ward up on the hill clear. They had one here near the tower earlier, and they've just had complete map control for the past like 5-10 minutes.
And I don't see it changing too soon unless Newbie decide to go for like a YOLO smoke gang kind of thing. Of course, this is a Chinese team, and because they usually rotate early on the map very often, they like a lot of times you see these Chinese teams at 20 minutes. They really want to smoke, but they don't have it anymore. It hurts their play.
They do have two though. They have one on the tide and one in the stash, so or the shop. So
they have sufficient numbers this game. It's good.
yeah, I guess they're waiting for those items. The BKB's now on the Death Prophet. They probably want to wait out the Aegis of Eternal Envy, which is expiring fairly soon. He also is very liberal with his ultimate usage. It's something that most Razor players tend to reserve for fights, but Envy loves using this just to accelerate his farm. It's interesting. Like it's just something that you really don't see too often from other Razor players.
Yeah, funny story. Like just as we were at International, we started talking about the potential of picking Razor first, because I mean it was just when the wave of Razor hit, and it was like Razor DP. DP wasn't picked as often. It was more like Razor Skywrath Void getting picked first every game with Rasta. But just at one point in the International, MV came up to me and said, "Yo, I think I'm the best Razor player in the world now. Nobody farms the jungle like I do with my ultimate." And I just cracked up laughing. Like,
Oh my god,
dude, you are so Eternal MV, dude. I can't fathom.
Only he looks at that as like a excellent farming spell as the primary reason to use it.
I mean, he's one of those guys though. You have to admit the way he thinks is certainly very unique, and he offers a lot to the game.
Yeah, him and AUI. Him and AUI.
Yeah, him and AUI. Oh man, this team will be a different team without them.
That's for sure. They're still not ready to
Clearly
smoke though. Yeah, the Aegis has expired now, and for Newbie, it's all about the Radiance. Once they get this, there's really no one item you can look to be like, that's the item that just breaks the game open for them. From there, it's just a slow and steady climb. You get like your Yasha up on the Spectre, your Heart, your Manta eventually, but these are not items that just come out overnight. Mu, BKB out, can work towards the Shivas, the Heart of his own, but at the same time, Cloud9, if they don't want to, if they're content to just spread the map and split push, then it's going to be map control still headed their way. They've got the aggressive Observer Ward out. Constantly the Nature's Prophet pushing the lanes in. AUI's been keeping up with his farm quite nicely, and now works towards an Ags or a BKB, which, if he gets the BKB, there's only one way to stop his Epicenter from going off, and that's a Chain Frost. Not something you're likely to see.
And most importantly, the fact that he doesn't take extra damage from Spectre helps a lot, because this Haunt, usually you can expect heroes like Shadow Demon to kind of just crumble. So all he can get off is like one rotation of his kit, maybe just disrupt somebody, ally or enemy, and drop a Soul Catcher with the Demonic Purge follow-up, and maybe drop like a poison or 2 stacks. Unless he's very, very far away from the teamfight, which he can just smoke and run away from the illusion. But overall, Spectre is just a real nuisance to a lot of these single target supports that don't have the mobility or the jump they need to escape the illusion.
Yeah, they have 3 blinks, but Ravage bottom lane, straight onto Eternal Envy. Disruption's there, but it might be a bit too late. Exorcism on top of him. The Brain and fought as well. Bit laggy for Perfect World, but they get the Envy kill off the bat. Dead for a minute. No buyback forthcoming. They'll lose their Shadow Demon too. Already 2 heroes hitting the deck. Chain Frost pouncing, shreds the Fire Panda, but of course does nothing to the Earth Wall. Meanwhile, Epicenter comes through. That's on 2 from AUI 2000, bringing them low. Turns the fight in their favor. Now 4 fallen. Fana looking for that blink in. Gets it off the clap first, and I don't know if they get this last kill. They're going to Drunken Haze and try for Pursuit. AUI a bit short on the Burrow Strike. Yeah, now quite short.
Silence.
But they bring in boat 7. TP over the top. The Ghost return at the exact moment needed. Now he tries for a TP out. Silence on AUI, and I think I'm like 2 seconds behind you. Yeah, won't be able to Burrow Strike him there.
Yeah. Oh, I actually just called it because it came off cooldown right away, and I figured that's what he was going to go for. But that kind of intuition in that high panic situation, this is why this Mu guy is such a player. He really deserves his title as one of the best mid laners. He's so clutch overall.
Yeah, unfortunately, AUI was just a bit more clutch in that fight. They end up getting 4 kills, and that's with their biggest source of damage dead off the bat. Razor just killed off before he can do a thing, and that is a concern. At the same time, fortunately, no objectives were claimed for. If you're a Newbie fan, they managed to hold the tower for now. Hao does have his Radiance online, and he's 4-3-7. He's only had 1 more death since he started building this relic, and well, Bone 7 will try to go at him with the Blade Mount, but they'll need more reinforcements for this. They're bringing them in now. Fada in, dagger forward, and then Hao heads to the right, but no, is he going to be able to get anywhere he wants to? Nope. Oh, Hao, off the path of the dagger too long. Now forced to haunt. Where's he going to relocate to? Nowhere. Yeah, he's just going to go down.
Yeah, that's probably a tower push follow-up here. They probably know that Ravage is not available yet, and of course Razor's farming up the enemy Ancients here, but does still have sufficient spells to rotate, and of course I have the Storm, relatively low cooldown on that spell.
Oh, Envy, not again, my friend. They blink in, he does have his BK. Oh, no, actually he doesn't. No, he hasn't finished yet. He's in trouble. Oh, Envy. That efficiency.
Yeah, that was pretty greedy.
That efficiency.
Yep, farming enemy territory.
By himself when his team's just made a go on the Spectre, when they have no ward up here, no sentry to tell if there's a newbie ward.
Yeah.
I think he was just assuming.
He actually watched the replay.
I think he was just assuming newbie were already like TP'd into this tower to try to help the Spectre, but that was not the case.
Yeah. Him and his odd infatuation for ancient stacks.
He just sees them and like they look like triple the gold to Envy that they do to any other carry player.
He likes that gold.
Oh man. Well, it often pays off beautifully. Newbie will smoke now. And they're gonna make a move. They've got Exorcism online. Yeah, Spectre did not actually have Haunt in that fight. I'm just getting incredible visual lag and thought I saw it, but I did. So they have it ready now for the Roshan Pit, and they're gonna make their way in. Rabbit and Moo.
Oh, Bone 7.
In position.
Yeah, he's ruining Newbie's plans here. Oh, Bone 7. Oh gosh.
He's just trolling them now.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he knows. They're
just gonna say screw it, man. Exorcism used. They are still smoked up, and now they start auto-tagging rush. All right, Jig's up. To Cloud9 fight this one. They've got all their ultimates as well. BKB is online for your Sand Cane, so they can't easily stop this Epicenter initiation. Unless the illusion actually gets off an auto attack in time. Haunts used preemptively. As Roche drops low, they'll claim the Aegis, but now they gotta get out. And it looks like they will. Well-timed taunt there. Cloud9 just unable to get in. They're gonna try for this.
Like they want to chase.
They're gonna try. Burrow Strike, Epicenter can come through now. Chain Frost to cancel it. AUI 2000 didn't get it off. Oh, he forgot about the Chain Frost. Now Boat 7's gonna go down. Pylite Eye will fall as well. They wagered a lot on that, and it's up to Eternal Envy to change the tide. But Ravage comes through. Fada didn't get off his ultimate in time. Still, it might not be enough. How on the way out, he ends up killing off the Necrobook, taking a ton of damage for this. Now, searching for AR 2000, but he might be too low to continue the fight. Juking through the trees, he does have Aegis, but he could end up dying twice here. No, Eternal Envy is going to rotate out. Nope, cancels his TP. They want to go again. Moves way with the silence. Eternal Envy can't get off a good static link. It's actually cooling down anyway. But Hal's also trapped in the trees for this. Now coming out of the trees, straight onto EE Sama. No, it's not a Sama any longer. Will end up going down. And does this Brew get to blink out in time? No, Fada, his blink's canceled. He may fall here as well. Dagger cooling down in 5 seconds. Oh, TP out. So 4 end up falling on Newbie. They lose their Aegis, and Cloud9 end up losing, what was that, 3 heroes?
They
lost the Shadow Demon pretty early.
I guess it is 3 heroes. And that fight, overall, it looked super messy at the start with AUI not being able to get his ultimate off. But Bone 7 coming in with a very, very huge Wrath of Nature with the Necro presence as well. Even though he fell as one of the first on the side of Cloud9, he did his damage.
Yeah, that's... Also, they got rid of the Aegis, which is so important when you're up against the Spectre. There's still the buyback con to worry about, but... Just forcing Spectre to blow gold on that is well worth it. In spite of that, Hao has suddenly got a Reaver. So he gets, and pretty much his completed heart. He got a lot out of that fight. And I'm not sure who got the most from Cloud9. I guess it was Fada. Yeah, it looks like he's the one who benefited the most overall.
Yeah, I mean, the guy is level 20 right now. And you saw his primal split. It came at kind of late, or it seemed like it was kind of late. But it was during the reincarnation phase for the Aegis on the side of Hao. And when Mu decided to show himself to save his friend or attempt to give time for Hao to have his Spectral Dagger available so he can get out of the trapped location, those Broodmasters, the Panda splits, man, they went nuts on that Death Prophet. Just dropped her from 1500 to 0 in like 3 seconds, just right-clicking her with Boulder Smash.
It's crazy because they have Anchor Smash. In theory, they also have Frost Armor, and they should be pretty good against the Brew, but just wasn't there. They'll catch out the Death Prophet mid lane. Burrow Strike's waiting for Mu. He didn't get off his BKB. The timing was absolutely pristine from AUI 2000. There was, I don't even know if there was a chance for it. He was already stunning as the rotation came, but now Banana gets caught Mana Burn, so he can't Shade Frost. Just goes down for free, and they look for more with that additional blink. Slowing Sidechain. Cloud9 pursuing Newbie to the ends of the earth, and they just now got the Ravage, but they dropped 3 heroes for that. EE's searching for the 4th, but there's no one there. Hal's off top lane. He just bought a BKB, now daggering off. As they blink in, they're going to try to go on him, but Fada trapped in the trees. Oh, sad Fada.
finds himself stuck in the trees for now, but AUI 2000 blinks forward, realizes that there's nothing for him to catch up to. But as I say that, Highlight dies on hot pursuit as well. He has the blink dagger available. Looks like they want to scout him out. They're going for it.
Well, Burrow Strike can be coming through momentarily. Epicenter, but how has the BKB? They force it out. Can he get this Pilot die kill? Disruption not available any longer. Haunt was used. He's just dying to auto attacks. How? On the retreat out. Ravage thrown out. It's too late for that. Spectre, no buyback, no Haunt. They'll lose Rapid as well. It's going to be a full team wipe, essentially. 5 heroes down. I'll pop the mech to try to survive, but Cloud9, just more heroes at the point of attack, time after time. These mass Blink Daggers, it's like they always have 4, and Newbee always have 1 or 2. And they're just not getting that good team fight off any longer.
Yeah, it really is difficult. Even though you lie on the backs of the Death Prophet huge ultimate with the Exorcism and the Spectre who now has the BKB with the Haunt. Again, it's just not enough compared to the farm and the right clicks coming out of Cloud9. They're actually at a 10k plus deficit on the side of Newbee. Or I guess you would say an advantage in favor of Cloud9 here. 10k plus EXP and gold.
Bone 7, I believe, just got the courier. It was hiding up in the trees. I'm not sure who killed it, but it has a... Sorry, what did it have? It had Shiva's Guard recipe, I believe? Yeah, Shiva's Guard recipe, and... Let's see, was Death Prophet close to that? Yes, 2,700 gold. That was her Shiva's. That's no Shiva's for 3 minutes now. Nice pickoff.
It's actually one of those situations where I would say, if it seems too dire, and it might get to that point, then what you want to do is you might just want to buy the recipe again. Because when you sell it back after the courier returns, it's 300. And this Death Prophet really, really needs item progression right now. Because Cloud9's push is rather imminent, I would say. Actually, I'm going to take that back. I think Cloud9's going to play it safe and try to wait for Roshan.
Eternal Envy, just with the... Did he just buy it? I think he just bought this bottle. The late game bottle for EE.
Yeah. Probably the only team that does this.
Yeah. I'm wondering if it was just because he saw a double damager and he's like, yeah, you know what, I could use this for the next fight.
Yep, we rely heavily on the double damage as well as the haste run. It really began when the Tiny Wisp was kind of the flavor of the month. And if you ever seen those games where Tiny just comes in with a double damage after like one sort of semi-team wipe kind of thing happens, Tiny and Wisp relocate into the enemy base and suddenly 2 Raxes are down. It's from that. Yeah, it works with Clinks as well.
Yeah, it is just a really nice late game item pickup. The only thing that you sometimes run into is like you get that nice rune and then you just don't have an opening to use it. So it's not a guaranteed win when you're running like a Razor over say a Tiny Wisp, but it can be the Tide Turner, and it's not like Envy was very close to a big item. If that's like an Ags ready to go, then maybe he skips that, but just having picked up his BKB, it's why not?
Why not indeed?
Well, this game will slow down now for Cloud9. They have a solid lead for sure. 18,000 gold lead, 18,000 experience lead. They don't kill the base that fast, though. They don't have the Razor Ags yet. There's no refresher on him. They're up against Frost Armor, and they only have a Necrobook on their Prophet. So they've been great in the fights, but I think, like you said, the game will still be pretty slow for them unless they get a big team fight win. They'll wait for the next Roche. They'll wait for Envy to continue his item progression, and they probably do look to take this to like that 50-60 minute mark before fully ending the game, if they continue to win fights.
Yeah. The story definitely is the fact that they don't want to commit or overextend at all. This is LD, this is another opportunity to get first place in Cloud9. They've been haunted by the second place curse. I think they want to really break it here against the TI champions. Yeah,
and let's remember, this is a one-game advantage for Newbee. So if Cloud9 gets sloppy and throw this game, they're 1 game away from just losing the finals. It's not like, oh well, we played well, but it's only 0-1. They do not want to throw away what looks to be their game thus far.
Patience will be a virtue this game for sure. And you know what? The double damage actually pops because of the timer. So Eternal Envy will look to secure himself another rune, and this time the Dota gods have blessed him with an Invis.
Isn't it more like he blessed himself with an Invis?
That's true, that's true. I'm sorry. Sometimes, you know, your faith is not so strong and you can't recall every detail.
That's okay. Don't forget who our Lord and Savior is, Claire. You of all people should know that. But see, this is him having mercy, because if he was a merciless god, he would have just said, screw the new rules of Dota, I'm giving myself a second double damage rune, even though that's not possible.
That's true, that's true. That's true. In E, somehow we trust, and in Cloud9, the trust seems to be on Roshan as Bone 7. He has his Treants scouting out, and it looks like the second batch of Treants are coming out. I would imagine he wants to put one back into the pit, because I think the respawn time is...
It could be right now.
Right now?
No, it's in 2 minutes. But that's the minimum, so that's the 8 minute mark. Well, where you draw those circles around the clock moves as you move your camera. But yeah, that's the 8-minute mark. It could be anywhere from 0 to 3 minutes more than that. So it'll be a 10-minute Roshan, but I don't know if this really changes too much for the upcoming fight. The one thing to keep an eye on is buybacks. And your Spectre has one, your Death Prophet has one. 2 more heroes about to secure their buyback from Cloud9, and I imagine we'll see at least some of them save for it, as they have a tier 1 bottom right near that new Roche pit, and it would seem crazy not to when you're up against Spectre.
Actually, that's a very interesting thing you bring up. Normally in 40-minute games, you don't see tier 1 towers being up, simply put, on either side. Because when tier 1 towers stay alive on either side past like the 20-25 minute mark, usually that team kind of just wins at that point. But I guess it does have something to do with the patch as well.
Smoke gank from Newbee. Moo's got the Frost armor on him. He's sitting on 30 armor. Pretty damn tanky, to be honest.
Yeah.
But it's all about if he gets that BKB off, and they're going to smoke on Cloud9 as well, and it might be just the right timing. Who gets the jump here? Nobody. Everyone's still in Viz. This could work out great for Cloud9. They're going to breach high ground, but they're waiting for Fada. He gets the blink in. The burrow strike's there. Fada's fast on the draw with his BKB as well, and so too is AUI, but with everyone BKB, there's really nothing for AUI to do. He just has to wait these out, wait for a better opportunity. Moo charging back into the fray now. Banana's the one who's caught out. Throws out a Chain Frost. That's not going to bounce. He ends up going down. Meanwhile, Moo pursued out now by the Brewmaster split. They go back onto how they'll kill off the Spectre. Has buyback, has BKB, has saved it for round 2 of this fight, but if he waits too long, then he's fighting without a Death Prophet. He'll buyback on. Rabbit's going to unload with the Ravage, and AUI 2000, his Epicenter comes in. Didn't get off the full damage on everybody, though, and Hal charges in. Smacks down a Turtle Envy. Looks for an additional kill. The Spectre hot buyback, securing 4. Probably securing a full wipe here. Fada, not much he can do, even through the Assault Cuirass. Just chop down. Gotta respect the haunt buyback, Claire. Really gotta respect that.
You really do. It's something that you always have to pay attention to. And now, Newbee, they're gonna try to put themselves into pit. I'm not too sure if they can actually take it. One of the things is Cloud9 can not only buy back on some of their heroes as well, but if it's like a Bone 7 buying back, you could just push the top lane. And also, they don't have enough damage, I don't think. And as I say that, Roshan's actually dropping quite decently, but not very fast though. Yeah, they're gonna back.
They just... I mean, that was pretty damn slow to be honest. Like, they have no right click without the Death Prophet.
Still worth the buyback though on the Spectre for sure. I mean, if without that haunt, Mu was dead, and what would happen is Cloud9 would force buybacks and they would just back up. And Roshan will be another objective coming up like 2 minutes later.
It will be interesting to see if they can secure the Roche anyway. They still have that tier 1 up, as we were talking about, so especially with the new pit, this is like directly on top of it. And with Cloud9 having this many blinks and Prophet being able to TP in, basically their whole team could just sneak into the pit. And that's what they'll do now. Bone 7 will go in, he'll start the fight off, he's gonna Hex after breaking the Lincoln Sphere with the Modern Burn of the Necro Minion, and they'll probably all just blink in here. Pilot Eye dropping down Observer Ward. They'll TP on the Razor. Well, Eternal Envy can't blink in. He's going to have to just waddle into the pit. And this will be... I think it will be... No, actually, the ward doesn't see it. Now they will.
It's unfortunate for him, but Roshan is still... It's going to fall pretty fast from this point on. I would give it another 15 seconds or so. And then they will acquire the cheese and they will acquire the Aegis, but I think it's fairly obvious at this point that Eternal Envy, some of his deaths are really costing him, because his items, they're simply just not there. I mean, you bar the drums and what happens is he has this Shiva's Guard and he has the BKB, which is still on 9-second charge, which is pretty good with 4k in the bank and now the Aegis to fall back on. But in terms of being able to take these team fights, as long as Spectre has buyback, I'm not sure if this Razor can survive round 2.
They're going on Hal. They've got an Epicenter ready to go. They'll start with a Burrow Strike. Now a Purge. Hal has BKB, but he doesn't want to use it. He's going to try for a TP out. Is there anyone else inbound? Nope. He'll make his way out.
Oh, and Moo showed himself at top.
Yeah, they're all scattering. He does have a BKB TP. Cloud9 don't have an answer for that, but...
Oh, Bone 7. Is he going to get baited, though?
Rabbit's here. There's a lot of heroes actually here. I'm not sure they want to commit onto this Death Prophet. She's got BKB. Now we'll use it. Exorcism can turn this one. Is she going? No, she doesn't want to. Just BKBs and backs off. Hey, Claire, since we have a minute, let me ask you, what do you think about Aegis on Razor? Like, to me, it would seem the cheese would be the better choice, because you don't get your ult back when you die.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those things, too, but honestly, like, this game, who else would you put it on is kind of like my concern.
Yeah, maybe
I don't think the Panda does anything with the Aegis coming back either, because he's a melee hero and most of the time they'll just have some sort of DOT sitting right on top of you, so you're probably not going to be able to blink out. And yeah, it's honestly, it is one of those games where this Aegis is not as effective as you would like it to be, but it's still a necessity against the Spectre right now, who has the buyback.
That's true. Yeah, this maybe you just save your BKB ultimate and wait for the Spectre buyback haunt to
Yeah,
really go to work.
it's kind of just pick the lesser poison at this point.
And, well, Newbee, their poison is two extremely strong late game carries getting their farm out. Rabbit's building is Refresher, and this could be scary for Cloud9, who have a lot of BKBs that are starting to wear thin. 7-second BKB on Fada, a fight or two more, that's down to 5 seconds. Same for AUI 2000, and, well, Eternal Envy, he's at a 9-second BKB. He generally gets this quite late on every hero, and it wasn't really that late, it's just that he hasn't picked anything else up since then. But
Yeah, I haven't taken a look into the net worth chart for some time, but now that I look at it, I'm starting to really get worried for Cloud9 because of some of the items that they've locked themselves into, whether it's the drums in the Razor early game and walking around the map, or AUI going straight into BKB and then bail the Discord instead of going for, I don't know, maybe another supportive item like Sheepstick possibly, which is not traditional for a Sand King, but nevertheless a possibility for this game. Just many things like.
yeah, or like he sold his rate of the kill, Envy did. Then he bought a bottle, and
Yeah,
it's a lot of gold wasted that could be the makings of like an Ags or a Refresher.
Yeah, like honestly, they don't really have real hard items on the side of on the side of Cloud9 that Newbee do. So
Yeah,
I don't know,
buyback.
they want to take this fight here.
Buyback status. There is no buyback on Spectre for a minute. Maybe that's what they're counting on. They go in with the Burrow to initiate upon Moo. He gets hexed up as well. He's got a BKB. They force staff him out. He get BKB and Exorcism. They're just trying to buy time. Spectre was disrupted, but then just retreats. And with these illusions chasing Eternal Envy and the squad out, they're gonna have to back. They cannot continue the high ground push from here. Just fighting these illusions is killing off Envy. Man, he almost lost his life. Well, his first
Yeah.
life. He does have the second.
So I do realize that was a pretty big overextend by Cloud9, going so deep into the base, and of course they only got out because they had these long BKBs. But as you mentioned earlier, these charges are slowly simmering down, and more importantly, I think that fight was a good indicator of the fact that Newbee's team fight overall is just getting stronger and stronger. Like when you take that kind of damage, and granted you're still under tier 3, tier 4 towers, so it does kind of make more sense that way. But Moo didn't even pop his Exorcism, which means that with the Shivas and the Exorcism and possibly a well-timed BKB, this guy can run down anybody right now. So I'm starting to fear for Cloud9 as Hao's actually trying to run down somebody.
Oh, Hao. He's getting angry. He does have Rabbit in tow, and... okay, they don't quite want to commit. They were trying to bait him in a bit too far. But this is... I mean, the key thing is they didn't use Ravage, they didn't use Haunt, they didn't use Exorcism, Shade Frost, Mystic Flare, and they don't have their second Ravage yet. And Cloud9 still lost like 2/3 of all their lives with their BKBs being used. And they did damage the tower, but most of the tower damage was not from the BKBs. It was before that chase into the base, so...
Yeah, I'm honestly starting to worry very, very dearly for Cloud9 here. They're not in a good situation. This is quite the predicament.
Okay, so if you're in Newbie shoes, what are you looking for now? Your Spectre's about to get Haunt, but you do have to consider saving for buyback. Lich is gone. He sold his headdress, went back for a buckler. Okay, I guess just deciding they don't need double mech. They're going to get Refresher soon on Rabbit as the other really big item pickup. And this Aegis will be wearing off fairly soon. Do you just fight before the next Roshan? Do you just try to win the game there? Do you wait for the next Aegis? Put yourself inside the head of Newbie. What's the game plan now?
Honestly, the ideal situation is they somehow find a way to push out the lanes to the river, and then have a smoke going through their jungle to like the mid lane or something. Because Cloud9, they're probably going to camp themselves in the enemy jungle. This is how Cloud9 takes map control, and then that usually gives access to the enemy mid lane as well as their safe lane. So that's the ideal scenario, and it looks like they want to set themselves up for that right now. But I think the safest approach would just be waiting for the next Roshan spawn, and then just forcing a fight there, because you know for sure that Cloud9 is going to try to take that Rosh before they try to push high ground. They can't breach high ground right now, and I think that last engagement, however overcommitted it was out of them, really gave a good tell that they cannot fight up against Newbie's lineup in high ground.
Yeah, and for Newbie, they're probably hoping for a longer Roshan respawn so they have time to get the heart and have buyback, which Hao is closing in on right now. And that might even allow Rabbit to risk a Refresher if he doesn't want to save for his own buyback. They'll push out the top lane as 4. They send Hao towards mid. There's still tier 2 in all 3 lanes, and still that tier 1 bottom. It's a lot of gold kind of out there on the map for Newbie, who are down 10,000, but let's say they take a Rosh, they get 3 or 4 towers off of that and win a team fight. This graph will be not only even, but probably just straight up in their favor. So
Yeah.
a lot hangs on this next Roshan and potential team fight.
hmm And now Rabbit, I guess still two pieces away. Does he have anything on the courier that helps him towards the refresher? No. Looks like they're both taking it slow, both How and Rabbit. When it comes to even farming their own side of the map, I'm just checking from their vision point of view, and they have a really nice small triangle setup just under the river AoE, but they actually don't see any of Cloud9 on the map right now, and that's because Cloud9 again, they're just farming up the enemy jungle and pushing out all the lanes as best as they can without showing too much presence on the lanes, because they know as long as they're off the map on this against Newbee are scared. And you can see that kind of coming out here with the two supports camping the Spectre, arguably one of the most tankiest heroes in the game. And of course, Moo, even he doesn't want to breach out too far. So both teams kind of playing to their cards as they're given right now.
Refresher is about to come out for the Tide. The Heart is about to come out for the Spectre. And Roshan is at least 1 minute off a potential respawn. Could be as long as 4. If it's 4, they're going to have these items and probably buyback. At least on the Spectre, they'll have the buyback. Maybe, well, maybe not Tide, but maybe 1 or 2 other heroes will. For now, just split pushing, trying to get the lanes going the way. Refresher purchased. Rabbit, nothing besides that really in the bank.
Yeah. And you know what? Cloud9 is actually assembling as 4 here. I wonder what their plan is. Looks like there's some pings coming out to the new ward location. I think they might want to consider dewarding it. And yeah, AUI 2000 does have the gem. Pilot Dice been poisoning it as well, so.
Look at this. There's a basher for Fada. He's going for the hard carry Brewmaster late game. Abyssal Blade incoming, and he's just purchased his relic. It's an Abyssal Blade Brew.
Oh yeah, and no buybacks. I was actually thinking maybe Refresher, but I mean he does have Blink Dagger, and he's probably going to be the initiator, so the Abyssal will work. Let's just hope they don't stack stuns, you know, because the way I see it happening, Bone 7 is going to try to hex the same target, so they really have to clarify that beforehand.
Courier on the way back. It is carrying a big payload. How will pick up his heart and retreat? He's got plenty of gold for a buyback, and they even send Eternal Envy into the mid lane. He pops his ultimate, then does he really stick around too much longer? He's got a Fada behind him, does have some backup, and perhaps trying to bait Newbee to leave that base, but they're content to just hug the high ground. Spectre Illusion's getting disrupted. They'll fight it out, and nobody really committing right now. Just the lane's getting pushed in, and any second now. Oh, unfortunately for them, it is an 11-minute rush respawn timer. Almost the full duration. Mook has the next item too if he wants it. He almost has a refresher. I'm not sure if he wants to risk it, not saving for buyback, but yeah, let's see what he goes for.
Yeah, I was kind of wondering what he would go for here as well. I mean, Refresher seems like the obvious choice, but there's a slight possibility he might want to go for a Sheepstick, which wouldn't be as good, honestly. The Refresher would be the best thing, so. As we say that, Newbee is smoked up. They are prepared for the incoming Roshan attempt out of Cloud9, but little do they know that Rosh is not spawned yet, and as you said, looking to spawn at the very latest moment, the 11-minute mark. But how? At 27,000 net worth, he's definitely the biggest hero on the map and looking like large in charge.
Large and in charge and with a second life to boot, so, well, they'll go into the pit. They'll be sad to see that the Rosh isn't up. Do they have any more smokes? Nothing in the shop and nothing on their heroes. They kind of, I wouldn't say they gamble necessarily, but they're just hoping that the Rosh respawns at that time, and unfortunately they're off, so if they want to go in, I feel like they're almost strong enough just to walk into the pit anyway, but, well, we'll see.
I think so too. I think so too, but I mean, despite that potency, you know, I think they really have to respect Cloud9 here, because Cloud9 has been taking some really good fights, and as we know with this patch, the change to the pit means that there's so many angles that you can approach the pit. It's actually a really nice place to throw, if you want to put it that way. It's a dangerous place, man.
You've got a lot of angles to come from, not to mention even hills for this direction. Like,
yeah.
Pretty much any angle you can approach it from. It's surrounded by more access paths than the old pit, which was just like the one way in. And then the surrounding.
This really does feel more like a pit, though. Before, it just felt like a dire cave.
It's like a death cage. It feels like feels like an MMA cage almost.
Hell in a cell.
Yeah, exactly. He who enters the pit shall not leave.
Yeah.
Oh, this could be the big item. Eternal Envy now has double BKB, double Shiva's Guard, and most importantly, the double ultimate.
Yeah, he's looking pretty strong now. He still has the cheese as well, so you can excuse one of his slots being missed for that.
Simultaneously, Moo is saving for the buyback. He's got 5.6k gold and the Perseverance. Alright, no, he is buying his Refresher. But I'm not sure if it will get here. Okay, we'll get here in time. They're still scouting. Now they know Rosh is up, and it's up to Bone 7 to draw Newbee back. But the issue is always going to be they have a Spectre. So they could just send him to defend top lane, and they can still remain 4 near the pit if they want. But they may not do that. They're actually running all the way back, because they're worried about as soon as this one hero runs away, I guess, things just go south, and you see Banana just casually dropping Shade Frost to D-push. This is fine if you've got the level 3 ultimate, but it is a long cooldown at the level 2.
Yeah. Yeah, it sucks kind of, because after that creep wave, he would have had the level 3, and I guess at that point he might not have needed so badly, but just unfortunate timing for him regardless.
Creep wave at the mid lane, just right near the river. Well, Cloud9 hangs back. Refreshers out for everybody. That's a 3 refresher game so far. And if it goes on much longer, we may see one on the... maybe even the Brew. Maybe even Fada goes back for one for the double Abyssal Blade to work with, and not to mention the double split. I don't know. We'll see.
I really do think Refresher is viable as like one of the first 2 items on Brewmaster. Really interesting item on Brew for sure.
Still nobody going into that pit, though. They do not want to take a risk. A lot at stake, and it's a Boots of Travel for Hal. Generally not an item we see on Spectre.
No, certainly not, but I think as you were talking about the Nature's Prophet push earlier, this is definitely what he wants here, because...
Oh, Moo. Caught out in the river. This could be our big fight. Disrupted to start. He's going to have to BKB as he runs, but Envy's gotten onto him. He's stealing his damage, stealing a lot of it with the double Razor ultimate.
Smokes.
Just gets shredded, but he'll buy back now. And there was 2 Razor ults used. If they fight, and these run out, they're in a lot of trouble. The Haunt will come through. No Haunt yet. Just staggering in. Chasing out Eternal Envy. He's walking into Zap range. Ravage #1 to come through. Eternal Envy didn't get off his BKB.
Man.
Double Ravage. There's no buyback on the Razor. Where's the DPS going to come from now? Perhaps AUI 2000. The Epicenter does what it can. They'll Cyclone up the Spectre, deleting him from the fight for a few seconds, while Banana waits for the Shade Frost. 5 seconds and counting. 3 seconds and counting. Get that Shade Frost up and out of. He just can't do it. But who doesn't even matter. Doesn't matter at all. There's no Razor. No Razor ultimates. Everybody low to Fada. Nobody dead. He'll end up dropping. Dead for 100. The Bone 7 ultimate almost saving the fight.
Oh, regen rune.
Hal finds a regen. Oh, what a time for a regen. Buyback will come out on your Sand King. The Brewmaster's bought back as well, but it's a Brewmaster who lacks a Primal Split, a Sand King who lacks an Epicenter, and Bone 7 who's just not at the base yet. He's trying to split push. They managed to cancel that regen rune on Hal, and they may play the safe and back off. They're going to try for it. Disruption comes right as the Burrow Strike's there. Missed timing from Cloud9, which means Hal just charges in, but he gets hexed. He tries to retreat up to the right. He does have the buyback Haunt ready to go. He's going to use the Haunt now, and perhaps jumps the other direction of the fight. Where's he going to go? No. Just using a Haunt. Now he ports in at the last second, forcing onto Fada, who, remember, bought back. This could be a dieback from him. Looking for more kills. They'll kill off the Shadow Demon. They go back. Kill off the Brew as well. Cloud9 just crumbling. Didn't take a late of Rex. They get creeps to the base. It looks like Newbee will be too low to go in, and Hal definitely gambled there, using the Haunt when he was low, not saving for the safe buyback Haunt, but it pays off, Claire. He lives, he gets a bunch of gold, now 13, 6, and 12, 32k net worth, and that feared tip upwards on the graph. I mean, it's just a straight jump at this point for Newbee. Cloud9 self-destructed at this stage.
Yeah, huge spike going against the favor of Cloud9 here, and Hal still farming up the creep wave that was coming for the push. He's now got 8,000 gold in LD. That's guaranteed 6 slot item with the buyback. This is the time for Newbee to do something. Panda's still down for over a minute, so they can force out the next objective however they'd like, and looks like they want to go back into the pit here.
They don't have any exorcism, so this will be a slow rush, but they're tanky enough to do it. How? Just with the heart, HP pull, now Frost Armor on him. It'll be slow progress, but it will be progress, and despite time for all their ultimates to cool down. The double Death Prophet ult should be ready for the next fight if they just back off after this Roche. The Spectre now with 8.5k gold drops his drums on the floor. How gonna pick up the Aegis? Shiva's was used by Moo just to ensure that Pilot Eye did not attempt for a blink in to steal anything, and well, they will grab his drums. Banana will be the courier for this one as they retreat back.
Yeah, honestly, I actually have to question that pickup on the Aegis by the Spectre. I feel like right now, these two cores, they just want to make the most out of themselves in the fights, instead of relying on deaths. And I understand with Spectre, it's the best synergy because the dispersion will allow her to do damage regardless.
But you still have buyback Haunt.
Yeah, but I feel like she should have actually used that 6 slot as a refresher. And she would have double BKB, double Manta, and double Haunt in the team fight.
Yeah, and if you want, you can even leave it, like, potentially in your stash. Just use your refresher right away, have a buyback, or, sorry, use your Haunt right away. Have a buyback, just grab the refresher from your stash, use it, and then go right back in, so...
Oh, right, that is true. That is true.
It could be really nice
you don't need the
It could be a
refresher,
7th item. Oh, they're looking for the jump in. Eternal Envy pops the Shivas. They'll hex up Moo to start the fight. Working on the Death Prophet, has a BKB though, and Hal's into the front line. Straight onto Pylon goes, gets disrupted. Eternal Envy doing quite a bit of damage with his double ultimate. Ravage will come through, and the Spectre getting controlled for a time. BKB's there, it's not quite enough. Hal still has the Aegis though. They're gonna have a round 2, and Eternal Envy has fallen. Sama, no buyback for 900 gold, which means not for this fight. Chain Frost still a bouncing. Rabbit still chasing. He's got a secondary Ravage. Doesn't even need it yet. Just the gush coming through. Cloud9 pursued into their base. The Haunt now as well. Diving towards the well. On to Bone 7. Looking for additional kills. They'll find one on the south side of the fight. Pylon Die gonna fall. Cloud9, they've struggled so hard just to find that first place. Second place at WEC. So many other events in the past. And, well, they're not out of this series yet, but this does look like Throne. No Razor still. Ravage is online. They're going for the throne. Newbee, time's over for Cloud9 if they can't hold the line here. Fada has no ultimate ready. He'll go in with the Blade Clap, and then that's pretty much it. House Hex, but not taking damage during this time. Just try to distract, but not enough of a distraction. Tier 4 is about to drop. There's no hold here for Cloud9, and that's it. GG. With the winner's bracket advantage, Newbee are now 1 win away from even more money, as though TI4 wasn't enough. They're looking at $350,000 with one more win.
Wow. I have to say, I'm still slightly in shock and disbelief at how fast they just turned the game right there. Just from the Roshan engagement overall, Cloud9 not getting what they found in the pit, and of course getting the entire fight of them turned on. And after that, I mean, look at the Razor's farm, and in that last fight, he didn't cast the second instance of his ultimate, Eye of the Storm, even after the refresh. So a slight blunder, which I don't think had much impact, because again, Newbee's net worth on their 2 cores was just way too large for Cloud9 to overcome at that stage.
Yeah, you go back to some of those deaths from Eternal Envy, like when he just solo walked up a hill to farm the enemy ancients, and
they were super costly for sure. I think
came
he
back to
really
haunt
needed
them.
to focus himself this game, because if you look at the lineup, I mean, despite the wonderful job that Peppada did with that initiation with the Abyssal Blade on the Death Prophet, like he still really is the solo carry in the Razor this game.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And well, for Cloud9, what the admins initially told me was the players would move to the main stage later today when the series was on match point, which it is now since Newbee take this. So I'm not 100% sure if that's accurate. There's been a lot of conflicting information, but if that is true, we might have a fairly long pause. So I will update you guys as soon as I know. But for now, what we do know is Newbee is 1 win away from taking WCA 2014. I'm LD. He's Clairvoyance. We'll take a quick break, guys. Well, maybe not quick. We'll take a break. We'll take some kind of break, and then we'll come back and resume the grand finals. Newbee on match point. Stay tuned.